My wife and I have a habit of reading in bed before we go to sleep. It's a way to keep up with, or try to catch up to, the rest of the world, and it's supposed to be a restful way to end the day. Although I often gravitate to murder mysteries while she likes a good scary horror story. One night she was reading a woman's magazine and I was reading the paper. Sounds safe enough, but an unusual coincidence popped up. She said to me, "What's the prime motivating factor behind gift giving at Christmas? What do you think it is?" An overwhelming desire to please your man. Please be serious. Is this a quiz? Yes. What's your answer? Confidently I said, advertising. Nope. I give up. You can't. Come on. Why do people give gifts? Because they want to? Yeah, but why do they want to? Habit? We do it every year. No. Okay. You mean what motivates us from inside? It's an expression of love, generosity. Nope. It's guilt. Who says? This article, it says the main reason people give gifts is because they feel guilty. And the more you give, the guiltier you feel. Merry Christmas to you too. It's not me, it's this article. You don't have to read it, but now that you have, maybe we should see the light and enjoy our first guilt-free Christmas this year. No gifts, no guilt. She did not reply, but continued to read. Let's do it, I said. Unplug ourselves from that ghastly commercial glut. Stop compensating for emotional insecurity. She ignored my sensible suggestion. It goes on to talk about divorced fathers who don't live with their children. They're real big givers, and grandparents who live far away. So Christmas is a time of atonement, I said. It's not a big happiness, it's more of a way for millions of people to say they're sorry. That's what it says here. What are you giving me? A lump of coal. Is it a big lump? We'll see how guilty I feel when I'm at the coal store. We went back to our separate reading. A short time later, I grunted. This is my endearing way of initiating conversation with my spouse. My wife said, "What?" "Well, you're reading an article on Christmas as an outpouring of guilt, and here's a big article in the paper on Christmas as a time of massive depression." A blue Christmas? Yeah, it looks like old Elvis had it right. It's very stressful, it says. Family groups cause stress just by being together. On the other hand, being apart from loved ones at this time of year can be very stressful too. So it's got you coming and going. You can run, but you can't hide. Exactly. Nobody wins. We're all miserable. So all in all, Christmas is really, a Christmas gathering is a bunch of highly agitated, strung out, sad, and guilty people. I nodded and said, God bless us, everyone. I read on. Tired, too. There's a lot of travel and parties. People get worn out, stretched too thin, and they drink too much, and they gain weight, and they're worried about money. Shall we skip it this year? That's what I was saying, but the kids, wouldn't we feel guilty? Yes, my wife said, but that would put us in the right spirit. Guilty as all get out. I don't think our budget can afford that much guilt. Oh dear, said my wife, sighing. When did it get so complicated? I just had a thought, I said. Christmas is probably very therapeutic, giving so many people an outlet, a way to express their guilt. That ought to make people happy. But I guess it's not enough. And it's not just the grown-ups either. Oh? No, the kids are depressed too, it says, even if they don't know it. When I was young and I was sad, I knew it. Yeah, well, you know what they say, kids are more sophisticated these days. Their parents are busy and they don't spend enough time with them. Their schedules are all out of whack because they're not in school. They miss naps, stay up too late, and the toys they get don't make them feel the way they see the kids in the ads on TV feel. I knew advertising would be in here somewhere. So all our guilt is ultimately ineffective? I think so. Boy, according to this, Christmas can really make kids feel terrible, especially the ones in broken homes. It's making me depressed, and it's only December 3rd. Here's a section on what you can do to cope. I know, it says never read an article like this. It says rest, don't overdo, don't drink too much, and keep your mind open to the possibility of feeling sad. It doesn't say that. Yes, it does. Keep your mind open to the possibility of feeling sad? That's right, that's what it says. What an anthem for Christmas. Keep your mind open to the possibility of feeling sad. It sounds like the warning label on cigarettes. More people are killed on the highways at this time of year than any other, by the way. Ah, yes, the true Christmas spirit, always on the alert for any possible sadness. That's for when you do feel bad, it won't come as a complete surprise. You can deal with it. You'll be able to recover." My wife sighed and flipped her magazine aside. "Well, I don't know about you," she said, "but I'm ready to celebrate. I would rate my wife an A1 Christmas person. In our home, she is known as Mrs. Christmas." "I don't know," I said. "After all this, I may be too depressed. Maybe next year. Maybe you're not feeling guilty enough." "You mean my guilt should override my depression?" "Something like that." "Okay, I'll work on it." "Or we could just go ahead and celebrate Christmas like we always have." "You mean BG, before guilt and depression. We could give it a shot for the sake of the kids." I put the paper aside and shut off the light. I heard my wife sigh. "We're pretty lucky," she said. "I bet Christmas is a hard time for some people. Isn't the suicide rate the highest around Christmas and New Year's?" "I think so. It's because people get carried away. They want things they can't have. They think about what might have been or ought to be. They have this image of Christmas like in a Norman Rockwell painting, and it's never like that. Their expectations are totally unrealistic. But Christmas is supposed to be special. Special maybe, but a miracle? Something of the miraculous, I think. It depends on what you mean by miraculous. There are miracles and then there are miracles. There's always a gap between reality and expectation, and at Christmas sometimes that gap turns into a chasm. People fall in. Christmas Gulch, the Grand Canyon. We lay there quietly for a while, and then I said, "When you think about it, Christmas is a lot like sex." "Maybe when you think about it," she said. "No, it is. Don't be ridiculous." "I'm not. I'm serious. You think everything is like sex. You thought dinner was like sex. The sun comes up and you think it's like sex. Dinner was wonderful. Everything went so well together. The sun, okay, at the risk of setting myself up, how is Christmas like sex? It's this terrific build-up to something absolutely mysterious and full of wonder, and boom, when it happens, you don't know what hit you, and then you don't know what to do when it's over. So there's this big letdown." "There is?" "Well, sure, it's only natural. You feel a big letdown when it's over? What are we talking about here now? Christmas or sex? What's the difference? I thought they were so much alike." "Well, not exactly. For instance, with Christmas the foreplay lasts about 3 months. Do you feel a big letdown?" "I don't know. Perhaps we should refresh my memory." "Your memory is fresh enough, and why bother if it's such a big letdown? You're forgetting the big build-up and the boom. Is there any guilt connected with this?" "Tons. What do you think?" "Sounds good to me. What are you doing?" "Going to sleep." "Sleep? I thought—" "Don't think of it as sleep. Think of it as part of the big build-up.